Flash Your Tyler's back with a SmackDown review for March 20th, 2026. And yeah, overall it was actually better than last week, but that last hour was kind of. Anyways, it was in the Lambeau Center in Raleigh, North Carolina, so there's that. So anyways, they kick out what happened with the contract signing and all that. And Jelly Roll arrived to the arena, and then all of a sudden, Drew McIntyre pulls Jacob Fatu from his car windshield and beats him up and all that. And then McIntyre says the only place he should be wrestling is the main event of WrestleMania and all that. And then Nico says, Drew said he's tired of to quit, but they would love that. And then he has a better idea. He says Nick's son should be his corporate stooge of a father, which, oh jeez. And then Jacob Fatu comes down, and then he puts him through an announced. Well, Drew did was the one. This brawl continued, by the way, throughout the night and all that. So yeah, this is like yeah. Anyways, then we get the first match for the WWE Tag Team Championships, and shockingly, Damian Priest and R-Truth won. But thank God they did, because the NXT's title run was crap. I'm just being honest here; it was a crap title run. Wyatt got involved in all that, so I guess this is gonna lead to a massacre match at WrestleMania. Yeah, I said massacre match, like. And then afterwards, get the fucking lantern back to the Wyatt Six, and there's that. But yeah, R-Truth got the pinfall victory and all that. A 3 out of 5 for that. Then the Bells get interviewed. I was like, oh god, don't let them win the titles. And then Charlotte and Alexa comes in and all that. Tells them that they are selfish, and that they have next, and then all that. Then Candice Ray and Jericho's laying down again and all that. And then Dan Howard comes in and he asks her for $20 and give him $20. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, what the Okay, that was kind of random. And then Sammy's also gets interviewed, and then he sets his face Aleister Black later on, and then he talked about Cody Rhodes. He says Cody looks up to Randy Orton, but last week's show ended up with Orton having the title, and Trick Williams comes in and all that. Anyways, then the Motion Machine Guns defeats Fraxium in a very good match. But then Candice Ray comes in. So I guess the Motion Machine Guns are going to turn heel. Okay, there's that. 3.5 I'll give it. Then Randy Orton comes, and then he's talking about, he said for years when his entrance music hit, everyone sings along and all that. It's all of that. And then Orton says he's been doing this for a long time, longer than most of the other. He doesn't want his legacy to be the smiles and all that. Yeah, and then later, so he was confronted by Matt Cardona, and then he punched him and all that, and then this led to later on. Anyways, then Alex Wright defeats Sami Zayn because Trick Williams just distracted him and all that. But yeah. It was okay. It was a 2.5, I'll give it. Um, Illinois right now was going to challenge Carmelo Hayes also for the U.S. title, so I guess we're not doing another U.S. Open challenge. Like, that whole concept is just yeah. Anyways, then the Jay Rhea thing. This is not going to end well. There's because of the real life beef they're having on all that, and all I kept doing is cussing and all that. And then Meaton and Beefheart randomly just joined up with Jay Carter. Like, really? Anyways, the Miz is with Kid Wells and all that, and Danhausen was there also again and says he tells him to stay cursed, and then Miz says he is not cursed, and we see a ladder fall behind him. What the hell? Anyways, then Solo and the MFTs are, Solo's pissed about them, and then they said they lost the titles, they might as well kiss WrestleMania goodbye and all that. And then we got another brawl between Jay Fatu and Drew McIntyre. And then Carmelo Hayes defeated Yellow Dragon to retain his United States Championship. I'm getting tired of seeing these two wrestle each other already. It's a good match, though, but there's that 3 out of 5 I'll give it. Then Jelly Roll is stopped by Randy Orton, and he apologized to him last week and all that. And Orton says Cardona earlier, says like Cardona earlier, he knows he was wrong and all that. Anyways, then closing calls out Jelly Roll, and all I gotta say is, why the fuck is this happening next week? Well, this is not happening at WrestleMania, so there's that, but still, what the fuck? Anyways, then we get the main event for the... Yes, this was the final match of this SmackDown. The Women's Tag Team Championship between Nia Jax and Lashley versus the Bella Twins. I was like, don't do it. Don't fucking do it. But then Charlotte Liza comes in, and then Nia tries to cheat, and Charlotte attacks her, and this causes disqualification. So thank God for that, but this fucking match was just... one. I'm getting this whole thing. Anyways, then Orton comes back out. He says he was talking on the phone and all that. And then Orton comes out, and then Matt Cardona comes out, and then Orton beat the shit out of him. And all that. And then we see Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre fighting outside, and they go all this there, and they fall off a ledge. And that was it. It was obviously a crash pass, and that was it. Yeah, SmackDown. B minus, I'll give it. Outside that boring as fuck main event and all that, but still. Yeah. Sorry it was a little shorter and all, but yeah, that's all I have to say about SmackDown, really. I'll do episode 11 of United tomorrow. Will be the last United before the biggest WCW event ever and all that. And then Sunday, I'll probably do Yogi. Yeah, I'll do the Yogi Bear movie review and all that. I might get back to the countdown lists also, but yeah. And then Raw beats on Monday and all that. And Tuesday, maybe the countdown list perhaps. But yeah, then episode 120 will be showdown. That'll be the last one before that. But anyways, That's all for tomorrow. United episode 11 will be tomorrow. In there. Like this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel, and notification bell, as well as my secondary channel, Talos Review, so you see a remaster review of ECW Guilty as Charged 2001, and it's all to do the Ruthless Aggression WrestleMania. That's 21, 22, and 23. There you go. Bye-bye.